I wish somebody would say that to me before I had Michael, that, girl, your life is not over. Yes, they're going to change. Yes, your priority is going to change, but you still can have it all. And when I had Mikey, I still decided I am going to have it all.
Welcome to the Effortlessly Abundant Life podcast. I'm Natalia, a certified hypnotherapist and a mindset shifter. Not too long ago, I was a broke, burned out, multi-passionate single woman to now making six figures effortlessly, marrying the love of my life and attracting what I want by using my unique bridge method. I'm here to help you achieve the results you want in any area of your life by owning your true unique self with less doing, less stress, and definitely less effort. Now let's jump to today's episode in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Effortlessly Abundant Life. I'm recording actually from my phone, upstate New York, because we went for Mother's Day weekend. We went upstate to our in-laws, and I just wanted to grab my phone and be as authentic as possible and just share from my heart a message that I wished somebody would do it before I decided to become a mom, and knowing it is possible to have it all. You can be a present mom and you can have a thriving career. You can have lots of money, abundance, fulfillment, opportunities, and have a thriving family and deep relationships with the people you care most about. So, first of all, a little life update. So the past week or so, if you know or don't know, if you follow me on Instagram, unfortunately, I discovered I had a tick on me. Probably one of the hikes that we did, somebody just jumped on me, a tick jumped on me and found a very cozy, perfect spot on my scalp. And I had to obviously remove it. And I'm still on antibiotics for 2 weeks. And last week I got sick. On top of that, not related, it's just I got sick. So yeah, your girl was, I'm calling it massive initiation, because I always say when we feel or experience some kind of obstacle, challenges, it's all about understanding that it's this contraction, right? This, what we call the challenge, the suffering, the pain, right? That always leads to bigger release and bigger abundance on the other side. So that's how I choose to look at it. By the way, if you hear any noises in the background, including chirping birds or just water, or maybe even a car here and there passes, forgive me. I'm taking a walk with my phone with you guys, as if we're just kind of like taking a quick walk together and sharing from my heart. So let's come back to being a mother and how it was for me. Before I even became a mom, and I knew when I was in my 20s, and even before that career is my number one priority. I wanted to be the best in my career. I wanted to have a thriving career. I wanted to have lots of money, and I wanted to have impact, and I wanted all these big things. And I always said, like, no, I don't want kids. And it was never a priority for me. It was the career always first. And kind of when I turned 30, everybody knows, and it's one of those things that, like, we feel as women this pressure. It's like, all right, it's time to think about it. It's time to settle down. It's time to all these thoughts. And I really thought about how can I do this? How can I have a thriving career and also a good family life? I knew, like, living in New York City, Manhattan, all you see is kids with their nannies, and the parents are just like what do we call the weekend parents, right? You see them in the weekends with their kids, but the rest of the week they're just not there. They're working from God knows when and until what time, right? I knew that this is not what I wanted. And when I had my son, I can't even explain to you, something in me changed so deeply. It wasn't like even I didn't even know that this is going to happen to me. I was so scared of having a child. I was so scared of delivery. I just, I just couldn't really connect to that as much. And once I became a mom, just switch flipped in me, and never I felt ever the same again. I truly feel in my core, I am the most me as a mom than ever. And it's something that I wish somebody would say that to me before I had Michael, that, girl, your life is not over. Yes, they're going to change. Yes, your priority is going to change, but you still can have it all. And when I had Mikey, I still decided I am going to have it all. And I think the number one thing we want to remind ourselves, we don't have to look around us for evidence for the things we deeply desire, right? I didn't really see around me other than, honestly, I don't even remember online anybody that I can say like, oh my God, this is how I want to, this is the kind of mom I want to be and the kind of career. Like, I didn't even remember seeing any model of that. But all I knew, as my manifesting generator heart is, I don't like to choose. I like to have this and this and this and this and this and somehow combine it all together and make it work. And that is what I decided to do in this scenario, in this situation. I decided I don't want to choose between being a stay-at-home mom, and I knew that I don't want to have a thriving career, but a kid that I just don't know and not feel any emotional, physical attached to it. It's just not something that I wanted for myself. If I brought a life to this world, I truly want to enjoy it. And as I said, once I had my child, once I had Michael, everything changed in myself. Like, my motherly instincts were so, I can't even explain to you. The second he came out of me, I knew exactly what he needed. I knew what he was thoughts. I felt him. I felt so protective of him. When I was in the hospital, I would not let anybody take him, making sure everything is done under my supervision. Everything was very, you can say micromanage, but everything was truly something that I felt like I want to be as involved. And as I said, my mother instinct just came alive. And I got so attached to him. I love spending every second with him. And I took 4 months off, right? It was paid leave. And you can get paid leave up to 4 months. And that's what I decided to take. And then the question was, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, I want to still be with him as much as possible. And still, all the hard work that I put into my career, all the foundation that I created, all the things that I'm creating in my business, how can I make it work? I don't want to choose. I want to have it all. And that was the question, how you do it all. So first of all, I decided that it is possible. And I think just that decision is going to align everything for you. And I know it's hard sometimes because we can't really see evidence of it. All we see is like other mothers just working from 9 to 5. And, again, nothing against us as moms. It's not our fault. It's truly society's fault that we need to leave our children in daycare in such a young age. And just leaving your child in a daycare for somebody else to raise him, and then you take him in around, if it's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock sometimes, that is not what we truly here for. And that is not true life, a life of abundance, of freedom, and anything that is actually good for our children or ourselves either. And as I said, I decided that I want to have it all. So as I said, really ask yourself, even if you don't see evidence of it in your close environment, can you be the exception? Can you actually decide that the fact that you want it, it is possible? So just that decision alone aligned everything for me. And I really started to thinking to myself, okay, how can I actually make it happen? The reality of it, you can't do it alone. You really can't do it alone, no matter what. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom or even if you're full-time working, we can't do it all. We're not meant to do it alone. You definitely need a support system. yes, if you have amazing in-laws, if you have your parents helping you, if you have a nanny or a part-time nanny that you can just hire, having obviously your spouse as equally as you are doing the work, that is something that you need to sit down with your spouse and discuss, and with your partner. It's not something you should think about by yourself. It's something you should really take as a family and think to yourself, okay, how we can make it happen. And I decided that thank God, by the way, my parents don't live here with me in the United States. It's still back in my home country. So unfortunately, I couldn't have their help. I knew that would help me if they were here. But fortunately, I have the help of my in-laws, and especially my mother-in-law. She's a saint. She offered to help, and I took it. And, I was raised by my grandma, by the way. So I felt like family is such an important asset. And if you have that kind of help, please, please take it. And that's what I did. I worked specific hours, and I knew that certain hours I want to spend with my son as much as possible. I knew the number of hours. I was like, okay, I want to make sure that this amount of hours I'm spending with my son. And this time, whenever he sleeps, let's say I would have my mother-in-law come help me, and so I can get much work done on that time, okay? So figuring out those times and those boundaries on those priorities, what's important for you, and making sure that your day reflects that, and making sure you have obviously the support to do so, okay? For me, it didn't make sense to spend most of my day working and seeing my son for a very short time. That just didn't align with me. So I knew, okay, I want to make sure that the time that I'm away from my son, I am the most productive, and the things I'm doing are actually moving the needle forward. And let me tell you, I became the most productive person. And I'm not saying it to obviously not to flaunt or anything like that. It's just I feel like it's something that happened to us as mom. We just become so effective and so productive because we truly know there's no other time. Like, this is the time you have to do it. You have 2 hours to knock the work out. You will do it. So what I do in 2 hours is something that somebody else will do within 8 hours. I just know it. And I really start to be laser focused on what are the things that I'm doing, what wasting my time, what actually adding asset to my time, what is actually giving me the fruits, what is giving me the results that I want, and what is not. And that is something that you should already look into. It's really this whole idea of 9 to 5, of us working 8 hours straight, 8 hours, is never been a thing, even before kids. I really don't believe that people can work effectively 8 hours. It's no such thing. So really, either you can reduce your hours, become a part-time, or have a job where you have this kind of flexibility, but obviously focus on results, focus on the things that actually moving the needle for you. And if you have a business, the same thing. Can you create more? Like, when I was in my postpartum, and even after that, a year after that, I was focusing more on group coaching. I was doing more of workshops and something that is more group-based versus one-on-one. I still had my one-on-ones. I love to death my clients. And that's something that, again, I never wanted to give up. But I also knew, like, realistically, you can have it all. It's just in different moderation. So I'm not going to take my usual amount. I'm just going to take way less and truly savored and enjoy the people that I took as my one-on-one. I truly enjoy working with them, and they filled me up more than they knew. Like, I truly felt so fulfilled after doing these sessions because I truly wanted to be there. And it's not even about the money. It's about the variety for me. It's about having this fill me up in ways that other things can't. So my advice to you is, again, not that 0-100 approach where, if I can be at home, I'm going to 100% work, and vice versa. Really look at the percentage. Okay, you can still work, But can you reduce, obviously, the percentage? Can you work part-time? Can you work less hours? And be okay with, let's say, even like in your head, you think, okay, I'm going to make less. It's okay to make less for a short time, and knowing that you can always pick up the momentum later on, right? And I'll tell you something, and this is one of those psychologists that I follow actually on Instagram. She's incredible, and she did so much research about the importance of being a present mom, specifically a mom from the age of 0 to 3, and how important it is to the development of the child, for their brain, for their nervous system, to buffer our children from this, what we call danger, stress, oxytocin, all these emotions that we think we are trying to make them stronger and independent by just exposing them to all these stresses, but it's the truth is what we're building is already a built-in nervous system that is not functioning properly, and they don't feel safe in their core. And I can't even tell you, as somebody that is doing so much healing work on my clients, it comes up so many times. So for me, when I am raising my child, I'm thinking to myself how important it is that I'm here with him, that I'm putting him to sleep together, that I'm feeding him, that I'm interacting with him, that I'm playing with him, that I'm truly present with him. There's nothing more important than that. But I also know that I want to provide for him a better future. And again, as I said, you still can have it all. You still can have it all in different proportions, in different moderation. But if you truly start to ask yourself different questions, see things from a different perspective, seeing other possibilities, and not, and I'm going to say it again, not give up on your inner guidance, that instinct, that motherly instinct that we all have that says to yourself, like, I don't want to put my son into a daycare or my daughter into a daycare. I don't want a full-time nanny. I don't want somebody else to raise my child. I want to be there for them. And I'm sure there is a way to do it. And there's so much opportunities out there. And we just think like, oh, I just need to stay in my job and work in an office 9 to 5. Like, no, you don't. I can't even tell you how many times there are so many beautiful things that came out of COVID that allowed so much more flexibility, working from home, working, again, maybe working 3 times from the office and the rest from home. Like, there's so many different possibilities that you can create for yourself and not just be tied into a chair 9 to 5. And let's be honest, all this time you're probably thinking about your child anyway. You're not as productive. You feel down. And it's not about the time. It's about productivity. It's about the results. And if you, and I know you can, produce the results in a shorter amount of time, I'm sure your employer is not going to care. And more than that, if you own a business, if you can provide the results and think about how can I provide the best results for the most amount of people in the short amount of time, you're golden. You are golden. We really don't need as much as we think to survive, quote unquote, right? To make sure that our expenses are being paid and we're getting paid and we have a roof above our head and we have our food. You don't need as much as you think. It's really not about the money. It's about the lifestyle. It's about making sure that your life is a reflection of your values. And if your values change becoming a mom, it's okay. And not that it's only okay, it's actually should be changing because that is how nature made us. And you being a mom is the best, I can't even call it a job, it's a purpose. As something that I realized as a mom, like, becoming a mom made me more me than I ever thought I will. I truly became a truer self because, again, everything that wasn't in alignment, right away, I didn't even put any thought into it or time or effort or energy because, again, it's not worth my time. So why would I even think about it? Why would I even put time and effort and energy into it, right? So things that just wasn't aligned was just kind of like, poof, put it aside and kind of fell through. And the things that I truly wanted to do, you always find time. Maybe again, in different proportions. I still was managed to perform. I still managed to coach. I was still managing being a VP in sales. I still managed to do all these things, but in different proportions, and being super laser focused on truly focusing on what moving the needle forward, and be very clear on my actions and the expectations, what it is that I want and need to do. When you have clarity, when you have clear actions that you follow, when you have a specific time frame, the things you can do in 8 hours, you can do in 2 hours. I can promise you. And I found that for myself. And that's why I realized what a big scam 9 to 5 is, and how much truly, not just moms, like as people, we're now meant to live this 9 to 5 life. We really meant to move around, to change. And when your body and your mind is thinking and has variety, more inspiration comes in, more ideas comes in, more energy comes in, and everything you do starts to actually pick up and get more momentum than sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours. So, to a mom or somebody that thinks about having family and they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, I don't want a family because I think they're going to ruin everything for me, and I'm going to be sucked into this, and I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I don't want to ruin my child's life for not being there. Like, I'm here to tell you, love, I didn't want children to. I thought that career is what's going to fulfill me. Having a child now, the amount of fulfillment that I'm getting from being a mom, and I'm not saying it, I really say from the bottom of my heart, is something I can't even put into words. I wish somebody would tell me that, because all I heard is bitching and like, oh, being a mom is hard and they're ungrateful and they're going to leave you and all these stories. It's really up to you. My bond with my son is the most precious and the most incredible thing that I'm so proud that I built intentionally, and I know that it's going to grow, and it gives me more than it gives to him. Actually, that's how I feel. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it all. Yes, maybe the first 3 years, you're going to reduce significantly on your work. You're going to work more efficiently. You're going to be very intentional with every second of your day. But as long as you are putting a priority, your children, your family, you will see how it's going to affect everything so beautifully. Don't shut your femininity, don't shut your heart in order to think you need to be successful in the career. You being feminine, you being a mom, you being moving with your heart first, that is your superpower. And don't let anybody take that away from you. And that is something that, again, I wish I heard that it's not a weakness to be a mom. It's not a weakness that you are a woman. If anything, you are a superpower. And when you give birth, like, there's just this another energy and support that just comes through you and helps you to move everything to the next level. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to all the nurturers out there, the mamas to be, and all the people that, as I said, the nurturers, because that's what being a mom is. And I wish all of you to know your strength, to know your power, to truly, truly, truly honor and respect yourself, and respect the fact that you changed and things changed, and knowing it's only for the better. It doesn't mean there's less of you. If anything, there's more of you and your true you, and truly embody it, truly enjoy it. So with that, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this kind of fun walk with me in the woods and hike as I'm recording this. And I love you. I love you guys so much. And as I said, I hope that's inspired you. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this, because I know I needed to hear this before me becoming a mom myself, send this per podcast. And if you can, tag it on your Instagram, and rate this podcast so more people like us can hear this message, and you're going to get a free hypnosis from me to attract more money, abundance, effortlessly. And with that, my loves, have an amazing, amazing day.